This is the video for 11.3 Interior Angles of a Triangle. The first thing that we need to know is that the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. And we're going to show two parallel lines, and then they're going to use the sides of the triangle as the transversals. So that makes angle 4 and angle 2 congruent, and they're congruent because they are alternate interior angles. So both of those are congruent. And then angles 5 and angle 3 are also going to be congruent. And if those two are congruent, then we know that angle 4 and angle 1 and angle 5 all equal a straight line because they all are going to be on that 180 degree line where A is. So if we know that those three angles are going to be 180 degrees, then if we are looking at their congruent angles, so angle 2 is the same as angle 4, and angle 5 is the same as angle 3, then we can prove that the inside of the triangle is going to be 180 degrees. Okay, so let's look at the part 1, and you have four different triangles here, and all four of those triangles are going to equal 180 degrees. So we need to be able to find what that third angle is for each triangle that has been shown. So we know this triangle is 180 degrees, and that's going to equal 32 degrees plus 43 degrees plus angle 1, which I'm going to say is x. When we combine these two, we're going to get 75 plus x is 180. So we're going to subtract out 75 from both sides, and we are going to find that the measure of this angle is going to be 105. So x is 105. You can also go ahead and just start by saying 180 minus the 21 and minus the 59 degrees, and that is going to equal angle, and in this case we're just going to say y. So if I have 180 minus 21 and then minus 59, then I'm going to find that that angle y is going to be 100 degrees. Okay, go ahead and pause it, work out the other two, and then come back and see whether or not you are correct. Here are your answers. Go ahead and check yours, see if you are correct. Here is one more triangle to go ahead and find the measure of your your third angle. So you're going to take 180, you're going to subtract out the 61, subtract out the 103, and then you should find that you have left 16 degrees. It says the diagram shows a ladder against the wall, and the angle that makes the ladder, that the ladder makes with the ground. So this part right here is my ladder, this is the wall, and this is the ground. So with that, we want to know what the measure of angle x is. Well, it looks like we only have 1 degree, but this little square right here shows that it is 90 degrees. So that is a right angle. So a 90 degrees is a right angle. So we're going to take 180 minus our 90, and that's going to give us 90. And then we're going to subtract out the 63. And whatever we have left is going to be our x. Because once again, 180 degrees is going to equal the inside of a triangle. So we have 63 plus 90 plus x is 180. 63 plus 90 is 153. We're going to subtract out 153 from both sides, and then x is going to be 27. Okay, let's try the next one. It says the measure of one of the acute angles in a right triangle is 42.4 degrees. What is the measure of the other acute angle? So the first thing that we're going to want to do is draw it out, or you can just use the math. So if we draw it out, here's our right angle, that one is 90, and we know that one of the angles, and we don't know which one, but it doesn't matter, is 42.4. So we're going to make this one x, and we want to know what that other angle is. So I'm going to have 180 equals 90 plus 42.4 plus x. So we're going to combine everything that we can. And we're going to find out what x equals. Go ahead and solve this one. Should be at 47.6. The next one says, make a conjecture about the sum of the measure of acute angles in a right triangle, and then justify your reasoning. Remember, conjecture is kind of like a hypothesis. We are going to think through what we know about the measures of right angles, and then we have to justify our reasoning. So the measures of an acute angles in a right triangle, we know that a right triangle is going to have one side that's going to be 90 degrees. So with that, if this one side is 90, we know that 180 minus 90 is going to be 90. So we know that these two angles here, x and y, they have to equal 90 because that is all that is left of our triangle. Okay, here we know that all of our angles are going to add up to be 180 degrees. So we know that all three of these, when we add them together, because they equal 180, we can go ahead and just write that equation out. So we have 2x minus 14 plus, we have 3x plus 10 plus x minus 2. And all of that's going to be 180 degrees. Okay, with this, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms. So all of them are being added, so we're just going to take them and we're going to combine them. So here I have a 2x and a 3x and a 1x, because remember there is an invisible 1 right there. And then we have minus 14 plus 10, and you notice I'm just keeping the sign that goes with the number in front, and minus 2 equals 180 degrees. Now we're going to actually add or combine the numbers that we have. So here together, 2x's plus 3x's is 5x's, plus 1x is 6x. And here we have minus 14 or negative 14, plus a negative 2 is negative 16, plus a positive 10 is going to be negative 6 total. If you're not sure, put it in the calculator. So minus 14 or negative 14 in the calculator plus 10 minus 2, and you'll see that it equals negative 6. Okay, so now we're just going to undo. First we undo addition or subtraction. So I'm going to undo it by doing the opposite. So here I have 186 equals 6x. This is being multiplied, my 6 times my x, so I'm going to undo it by dividing. So I'm going to divide, and x is going to equal 31. Now, that does not help me answer any of these, so I'm going to have to plug in my 31 to my angle JKL. And remember, it's the middle one, the middle one right here, this K, that we are looking for. Because remember, we go JKL, and then K is in the middle, so that's the vertex, and that's the angle that we want. So I'm going to drop that in. So x is 31 plus 10. So here I'm going to have 93 plus 10 is going to be 103. So this particular angle is going to be 103 degrees. You can also plug in 2 times 31 here, minus 14. And you're going to see that that angle is going to be 48 when you're done. And you can also do 31 minus 2, so that makes this angle 29 degrees. So now you can find every single one now that you know x. Okay, so I'm going to have you try the next one on your own. So go ahead, look at your paper and try it. once again, we know that all of our angles added together are going to add up to be 180 degrees. I'm first going to combine all of my like terms. So I have 1x plus another x plus another x. Once again, I'm keeping the sign that goes in front of them. So that gives me 3 x's. I have a plus 5 minus 3 minus 2. So 5 minus 3 is 2, minus another 2 is 0. So I'm going to have 3x equals 180. This is being multiplied, so I'm going to undo it by division. So I have x equals 60. Now I have to go back through, and I'm going to just find the measure of each angle. I'm going to do 60 plus 5 is 65. 60 minus 2 is 58. And then the one that they actually wanted, which is the measure of angle F, is 60 minus 3, and that is 57 degrees. Okay, I hope this one makes sense, and I will have you go ahead and work on your homework when you get to class. Thank you so much. Have a good night.